Welcome to Susmita's Voice. A question of trust is today's story. It is said that to catch a thief, set a thief for that. And what do we know about any profession? We just know one thing about every work. Once does, and that is the person needs to be honest. In this case of thefts, the community of all thieves have one rule, which is also termed as the Rule 1. That is, never reveal the identity of another thief. Now, here in this story, we need to find out who actually broke the trust and who was fooled. Story in a nutshell. The story is about a man named Horace Danby. He is 50 years old and everyone around him thinks he is a good and honest man. He used to build locks and used to earn enough profit so that he could hire 2 servants to help him. He was sent to jail once about 15 years ago because he used to commit robberies every year. This year, when he goes to a house for robbery, he meets a woman who pretends to be the owner of the house. Later, when he reveals from there and is arrested after 2 to 3 days, he comes to know the truth of that lady. About the author. The short story here is written by Victor Canning, who was a British writer of thriller novels, and he flourished with that in the years 1950s to 1970s. He was personally reticent. He gave no memoirs and never any interview. The plot of the story. The plot is about a 50-year-old man. He makes locks and lives with 2 of his housekeepers. He is a good citizen, but not an honest one. That was because he commits a robbery every year. He plans his robberies in such a way that the money he gets from there lasts him for at least a year, and he is able to buy rare and expensive books with it. He buys these books because he is really fond of collecting rare and expensive books. He plans to commit a robbery at a grange named Shotover Grange. He takes all the information about the house, like where the family had gone, how many servants were there in the house, what was the name of the dog, the wiring in the house, the safe in the house, and even information like how much worth of jewels were there in the safe. The real twist in the story comes when he reaches the grange to commit a robbery. A woman claimed to be the owner's wife enters. She gives him an option that she will forget that she had seen him if he opens the safe, as for her, she has forgotten the code of the safe and has to go to a party. He does not realize that he is opening the safe for another thief and that she is not the actual owner of the house. He leaves happily thinking that he is safe, but doesn't realize the fact that he had opened the safe for someone else, that too without wearing his own gloves. 3 days later, a police officer comes and arrests him, saying that his fingerprints had been found at the Shotover Grange. He then realizes that he had been fooled by a lady who was herself a thief and from the same background as his. He is sent to the jail and becomes an assistant librarian. He feels angry whenever someone talks about honor among the thieves, as he had been cheated by one of his own community. The theme of the story. The main theme of the story is based on trust in profession and professionalism, which is also about the smartness of the person. In the story at the end, this is quite prevalent that Horace Danby was simply fooled and that he had to be very sure of his intuitions and information that he had beforehand. But as thief, he was befooled more and lesser betrayed. Characterization. There are 2 main characters in this story. Number 1, Horace Danby, one active character, and a lady in red, one passive character. Horace Danby was about 50 and unmarried. He made locks and had 2 helpers. He loved rare and expensive books. He was considered to be a kind and honest man. He had a good reputation in the society. Although he was considered honest, he really wasn't, for he was in reality a thief. 15 years ago, he had been imprisoned for stealing rare books. He was not a typical thief. He stole only once a year. Horace robbed a safe every year. He was now out on committing a robbery, and he stole to fulfill his desires to acquire rare books. He did not steal again and again. He wasn't a repeat offender. He stole only to buy rare books. For his next raid, Horace had studied the house of Shotover Grange for 2 weeks. He had plans to burgle in this house. Also, a thing to notice is that Horace was allergic to flowers. This may seem petty, but this is what ultimately led him to be caught. After 2 days, a policeman had arrested him for the jewel robbery at Shotover Grange, leading Horace to jail. The lady in red for the lady of the house. The lady in red behaved and acted with an air of confidence and authority. She told Horace that she didn't expect a burglar in her house. She also threatened to call the police if he tried to run away. Society must be protected from burglars like him. Horace told her that he robbed only those who had a lot of money. He promised her not to do such a thing again. He requested her to let him go. All along with these proceedings, Horace Dunbar had been mistaking her as the lady of the house. Blogger's opinion. Who do you think is actually at fault here, Horace or the lady thief? Do you have any justification for your choice from the story? Please comment with a detailed and a justified answer in the comment section below. All the best.